Hey, Kyle's Wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's NXT Level Up from August 26, 2022, recorded August 23rd before NXT 2.0 in the CWC in Orlando, Florida. So as I said last week's Level Up review, all the spots that were about to open up on NXT from a bunch of people about to get called up to the main roster have already been filled because of the shocking news that NXT UK is done and gone. So most of the NXT UK was already released. About 10 people were saved, and they'll now come over to NXT 2.0, filling up all those spots. Meaning that everyone stuck on Level Up currently really needs to start improving and proving themselves. Otherwise, they will get lost in the shuffle, no doubt in my mind. So we start with a pretty good match here in tag team action. It'll be Idris Enofe and Malik Blade taking on Bronco Nima and Lucien Price. Lucien Price. So Bronco Nima and Lucien Price have only had one match together so far in NXT, but they did look pretty good together as they've been training in the Performance Center for months before their debut. Meanwhile, Idris Enofe and Malik Blade have a year of chemistry under their belt, and they really do need to start proving that they should be on NXT 2.0 every week. I love Idris Enofe and Malik Blades as a team and their charm and their charisma. They just need to keep improving in the ring. Seemingly, there are either 4 or 5 other teams ahead of Idris and Malik in the depth chart right now, and I think they could work themselves all the way up to being champions. If at any point Idris and Malik do slow down and stagnate, they'll quickly get passed up by other teams, such as Nema and Price here tonight, or the team of Bryson Montana and Damaris Griffin, who we've seen on Level Up a few times as well. So this is an important match for both teams tonight. Idris Enofe and Malik Blade come out first. The big cheers from the crowd, and Idris definitely looks like a big star. I wish Malik would stop with the sweater vest stuff, but their gimmick is that Idris is cool and Malik is not. But they're good friends anyway. So we have 3 announcers tonight, which was stupid. The third announcer barely said anything, and when he did, it came off as awkward. Anyway, Bronco Nima and Lucien Price now come out, and they have a nicely coordinated entrance routine. These two have been working hard as a tag team, even their look, their entrance, the double teams, good stuff. They've only had one match together. This is their second match. They've already looking like a well-oiled machine. So Malik Blade is going to start the match with the really big Bronco Nima, who's by far the biggest man in this match. Nima hits a shoulder tackle, but Malik shows some really good agility to cartwheel out of the next attack, and then Idris tags in. They use quick tags here to attack the big man's arm. Nima then uses his power to block the next attack and tag in Lucien Price. Price goes on the attack, but Idris counters and tags out. Idris and Malik now hit a double team for a 2 count. Malik hits a huge drop kick here, but Nema tags in, and Malik didn't see it. Blind tag that allows Nema to get Price out of the ring, and Nema comes in attacking Malik, taking his sweater vest off, which causes the crowd to boo massively. So Malik, how dare you take the man's sweater vest off? That was funny. So Malik then gets caught in the wrong corner now, and Nema and Price use quick tags to destroy Malik Blade here. There's some good offense too, not too boring. Really good stuff here from the youngsters. Nema then hits a big corner splash. Remember, he's a big guy. Price now tags in. He applies a cravat on the neck. Malik then flips out of the next attack, and Idris is able to tag in. Nema runs in the help, but Idris is on fire, and he takes out both men. Idris is hitting corner attacks on them both, then hits a punch combo on Price, followed by a bulldog or a flapjack, like a face buster, one of the two. Idris now goes up to the top rope, hitting the elbow drop that's more than halfway across the ring. That was awesome. And Idris calls that the Idris elbow. Then Idris kicks Nema off the apron. Malik tags in, and they hit their double team finisher, the climax, which is a Samoan drop neck breaker combo. This gets the 1, 2, 3, of course. So the winners of this match by pinfall, Idris Enofe and Malik Blade. And in the back now, I guess I won't just move on. Pretty good match. Like I said, I'm really digging this tag team of Bronco Nima and Lucien Price. They've only had 2 matches now. I don't think they've ever had any matches before coming to WWE, and they've really been putting in their work since they've been. I think they've been here basically all of 2022. They spent the whole first half of the year training hard in the Performance Center, clearly with the intent to become a tag team. We were told by the announcers that Lucien Price and Bronco Nima grew up 15 minutes from each other in Texas, I think it was, where they played football, and they're both big football stars. Only 15 minutes apart, but they never knew each other. So once they got here and they found out that they were only 15 minutes apart when they grew up, they became close. And then it really shows in their tag team that they are good friends. So, like, this is what I was talking about. Idris and Malik need to, and I think they did. I think they showed enough to show that they're they keep on improving. But like I said, if Idris and Malik ever stagnate, there's new teams on the horizon, such as Bronco Nima and Lucien Price, to knock them right even lower on the depth chart. So this was cringe. Next, we get a second week in a row of our promo segment on Level Up being cringe, as Nathan Frazier is here, and he says that I've always looked up to Ikemen. He always looks good, and he gives me some good pointers on fashion, which I need. But what brought me to Jersey to the United States was actually because I couldn't play soccer well enough. So here I am now. And then Nathan, somewhere within that, Nathan was thrown a basketball. He was sad it wasn't a soccer ball. And at the end of the promo, Nathan kicks the ball, and we hear fake glass breaking in the background, and Nathan runs off. So, wow, is that a terrible gimmick or what? A failed soccer player who sucks at soccer. What the heck even kind of gimmick is that? This is just as bad as last week's promo, where we saw Axiom say that he wished there was comic book test, just like math test. Could you be any more cringe if you tried? So, failed soccer player who sucks at soccer, so I tried wrestling instead. Why would anyone ever care about that? If you liked soccer, why would you even care about that? Like, and I do like soccer, so that's just a ridiculous. Hopefully, he never talks about that kind of stuff ever again. So we got an interesting match next in the women's division. Really, really deep women's division, where every single match here on Level Up is very important, as there's a ton of women on the roster that don't even get a match every week. So everyone, then it's finally their turn. It's basically a carousel. When it's finally your turn to get a match, you really need to impress so that you don't get passed up on your turn next time. And then 2 months go by where you're not seen, and all of a sudden you might get released, kind of deal. So these Level Up matches are important for that very, very reason. So in the women's division, it'll be Amari Miller taking on Kiana James. Both Amari and Kiana are definitely on the fringes of an absolutely loaded NXT women's division. An entire month has now gone by without seeing Amari Miller, who has been on the roster over a year now, and she has lost every single match that she's had on NXT 2.0 national television. She has lost 11 matches now on national TV without ever getting a storyline or a character yet. So I definitely think Amari Miller is in major trouble and close to getting released, and she definitely will want to have a great match tonight. Amari Miller was unfortunately injured by Lash Legend earlier this year, and Amari has struggled to get anything going ever since, maybe being a little squeamish after her big knock that knocked, I think it was a concussion issue. So that's not good at all. She's kind of regressed ever since that disruption with the unfortunate injury. Meanwhile, Kiana James is newer to the roster, having only been here half a year or so, and is definitely one of the people that just immediately passed by Amari Miller on the depth chart. Kiana James was actually given a character, and I don't know how good it is, but it's an office wizard who's good at math and analytics and stuff like that. So this has produced some boring talking segments talking about stats and stuff, and it really has not given Kiana James any steam. But unlike Amari, Kiana has actually gotten a win on NXT 2.0 national television, but she loses more than she wins. So both women will have to have a good match today to make sure that they're not forgotten. So Amari Miller comes out first. She's got a super bubbly, fun, loving, will make you smile personality. Amari Miller's a natural baby face. She's got charisma. She just needs to find her confidence again in the ring after a few setbacks from injuries. Kiana James then comes out next with her overly contrived entrance. It just always looks like she's a robot, so stiff and lifeless, no charisma whatsoever. It's just like a robot doing their, it's like the video game when you play WWE 2K and it's just lifeless and they're doing their routine like and she needs to, I don't know if that's something you can ever teach someone, or if charisma is one of those things that has to be natural. I'm still not quite sure if that's something you can teach or not. I guess you can just at least tell people to relax, because Kiana looks way too stiff and you know what I'm saying, like a robot, like just needs to relax a little bit. Anyway, Kiana's holding on to a big black bag. We're not quite sure what's in it, but we've seen her use it before to hit people. So Amari and Kiana, Amari Miller and Kiana James lock up. Amari is one of the smallest women on the roster, so Kiana James is able to push her around. She has the strength advantage, of course. There's a new woman referee for this match, and she's you can always hear, I don't know, maybe we always hear every referee, but like every word, you could always just hear this woman's voice. I don't know if it was good or bad. It just was noticeable. Anyway, Amari Miller is able to get wrist control and applies an armbar, taking Kiana James to the ground. Kiana then gets out, but Amari evades her move and poses. This makes Kiana James mad, and maybe her analytics didn't count for this taunting that Kiana James had. I mean, Amari Miller. Kiana then hits a big strike and mocks Amari right back, taunting her back. Amari then grabs the leg and is able to take her down while laying on the ground. That was pretty cool. Into a roll up for a 2 count. Amari has shown some pretty good grappling skills so far. Kiana James now fires up and she rushes Amari into the corner using her power advantage. Kiana James hits some big strikes and wears Amari Miller down while taunting even more. Kiana hits a gut buster after that for a 2 count. Then Kiana applies a chin lock as the crowd chants for Amari to get out of this, but Kiana keeps it on for a while and slams Amari face down. Then Kiana tries to do the same face slam, but Amari is able to roll through and get another roll up for a 2 count. Amari Miller then hits a lariat and a spin kick that takes Kiana down, and Amari hits a stiff-looking flatliner. That looked really good. Good stuff on that move. Kiana James is just barely able to kick out. Then shortly after, Kiana hits a bad-looking twisting flatliner slam thing for a 1-2-3. The winner of this match, Kiana James. So it was not Kiana James's fault. At least I don't think it was Kiana James' fault. The reason that finisher looked bad, I think it was Amari Miller. She just isn't feeling comfortable with her bumps ever since that injury. She's kind of hesitant and scared to take her bumps on all their moves and stuff like that. We also saw Amari kind of botch something earlier that just kind of bogged the match down for like everything stopped for a couple seconds because it got really botched. So Amari did show a couple good grappling skills in this match, and again she showed that she has great charisma and she's a natural baby face that can make people smile, but she really needs to start putting it together in the ring. Otherwise she's going to get released. Maybe she could one of those deals where if you go out and prove it yourself over in different companies or in the independents, maybe we could bring you back in a year or two. But I think it's getting close to that time where WWE is going to have to be like, we really aren't seeing the progression that we want to see out of you, and we're going to have to let you go. So there's probably over 30 women on this NXT roster, and Amari Miller's definitely in the bottom 10%, the bottom 10 of those 30. So it's going to be hard for her to get on TV. You know, like how many women of the 30 can get on TV every week, and let alone even on these 3 matches on Level Up. That's what I was talking about with the rotation earlier. So I know it's hard, it's tough when you only get a match here and there, but I'm sure they're doing some kind of training, and that has something to do with it as well. But Kiana James, like I said, no charisma whatsoever. If Kiana James and Amari Miller combined into one person, they would be the perfect wrestler. Kiana James can hit the moves. She's good in the ring. But she just has no charisma whatsoever. Amari Miller, all charisma, not so good in the ring. Maybe they could be a good tag team. So anyway, going to be a really good main event with the potential to be the best NXT Level Up match of all time. It'll be Ikemen Jiro against Nathan Frazer. Both men are veterans and absolutely great at wrestling. Ikemen Jiro has a well-established character as well, something Nathan Frazer has struggled with, and probably the reason that Nathan has struggled to get television time. But with everything in WWE changing to maybe possibly more back to a wrestling show of all things, with less about characters, more about wrestling, I wouldn't just quite panic yet if I was Nathan Frazer or Ikemen Jiro for that matter. matter, because I think both will be featured more and more as NXT becomes more of a wrestling show again. So this should be a good showcase match for both to remind everyone that they are indeed great wrestlers. Ichimanjiro now comes out first with his amazing music. Definitely go look his music up if you've never heard it. It's good. It's a banger. So hopefully Ikemen can get on TV more often. The crowd absolutely loves him. He's got a character that stands out and a look that stands out. He can wrestle. He can talk. He has amazing music. What more could you want in a guy? I definitely hope Ikemanjiro can get on NXT again soon on national TV. That is. National Frazier or Nathan Frazier now comes out. Massive cheers from the crowd, way more than I figured, and way more than Ikemanjiro. So that means Nathan Frazier has been able to get over with his amazing in-ring ability alone. He doesn't have much charisma. He has a bad character. He can't talk, but his matches are so good that the crowd just absolutely adores him. So this should be a good match here. Jiro gets wrist control and is able to take Nathan Frazier down 3 times in a row while Jiro's laughing. So maybe Jiro's going to act a little more heelish in this match, but no, I guess it was just a little laughing or something. We don't really get any more heel stuff after that. Jiro then takes him down again, is taunting Nathan Frazier. Now Nathan flips out of the wrist control and gets wrist control himself. Jiro's able to nip up out of this. Jiro then gets serious as they stare each other down. Nathan Frazier applies a headlock to take him down. Jiro then strikes his way out and uses great agility to evade Nathan, but Nathan Frazier takes it to the next gear, running super fast off the ropes and able to hit a drop kick that the speed on that drop kick was ridiculous. Jiro went flying off the ropes and ricocheted back all the way to the middle of the ring. That was ridiculous. Jiro then eventually gets wrist control again, but Nathan reverses it. Jiro then uses the ropes to flip out of the wrist control and take Frazier down to the mat. Nathan then hits some wild flips of his own, applying a Boston Crab right after that. So Jiro, those flips were basically just confused Jiro, and he didn't know where Nathan was going to strike from next. Right after that, he applied the Boston Crab. That was really cool. Nathan then transitioned this into an STF. Jiro uses some joint manipulation to get out of this, hurting the fingers of Nathan Frazier. Jiro then able to counter 2 moves in a row, and Jiro hits his big jacket punches where he puts his hand into the suit jacket pocket that he wears in the ring. He does all this while wearing a suit jacket. Anyway, Jiro then evades a corner attack, but Nathan Frazier evades the springboard moonsault right after that. Nathan then hits a springboard dropkick as both men use this time to recover. Then a striking exchange of all things breaks out. Nathan tries to apply an armbar to get out of that striking exchange that Jiro was winning, but Jiro counters this and Nathan counters right back. Jiro tries the springboard moonsault again, but Nathan kicks him right in the face in midair as he's upside down. That was ridiculous. Nathan then hits a Phoenix Splash from the top rope, getting the 1-2-3. The winner of this match by pinfall, Nathan Frazier. So while this match absolutely blows every other match in the history of Level Up out of the water, these two are veterans. Definitely go watch this match, Ichimanjiro against Nathan Frazier on this week's Level Up. It's a good one, and it's not very long. Jiro's super sad in the corner about losing this, so good guy Nathan Frazier helps him up, shakes his hand. Jiro shakes his hand back and bows, and they are friends as this and so Nathan Frazier even makes a joke for it that makes Ikemanjiro smile at the end. So definitely, if you did not see Nathan Frazier against Ikemanjiro, this is the best match on Level Up, period. I knew it would be because they're both great in the ring, but this was a great match. It's really short, so it's not going to take too much time out of your day. It's a good short, but really good match. And it's not every day we get this on Level Up. But these two guys really went out there to prove that they're better than Level Up and that they should be on national TV. So good stuff. Definitely go watch this. And great stuff. Hopefully it's something the new recruits can also have been watching in the back and hopefully get motivated to do better. So but like I was saying earlier, some people will fold under that kind of pressure. That's just life. That's how it goes. Not everyone's going to make it. Hopefully they can have redemption stories like we saw on SmackDown, seeing Drew McIntyre's redemption story, being the chosen one and then getting fired, working himself all the way to becoming back and becoming WWE champion. So hopefully, like I was talking about Amari Miller, who seemingly seems to be folding under at least if not folding under the pressure, just can't get over that injury she had and might be hesitant to take big moves on her head. That's what messed up the finish of her match. The finish of the match tonight was because Amari Miller didn't want to land on her head, and that ruined the entire like finisher sequence. So that's going to be a big problem for Amari if that's never something she can break in her career, and that's something WWE is just going to have to let her go if that's something she can't get over, which is going to be unfortunate. But hopefully she can get over it. Even if she does get let go, you can always be brought back. We've seen it happen multiple times. In the beginning, great tag. It looks like we've got a healthy tag division. There's probably over 10 tag teams in the NXT division. I run them on universal mode. And right now, I mean, we just lost one with Legado del Fantasma. Seemingly he's never coming back to NXT. So we just lost one, but we got a couple more. We just gained this Bronco Nema Lucien Price team. Looks really, really good. And they've only had 2 matches so far. So Ikemen also has been teaming up with what's his name? Quincy Elliott, who unfortunately there was so many new people coming over from NXT UK, and they wanted to set up the Worlds Collide, that even though they said that Quincy Elliott was going to debut this week on NXT 2.0 national TV, he didn't make the cut. There was no mention or anything of Quincy Elliott. So unfortunate for Quincy Elliott. He was supposed to debut on national TV this week, but there was just too much stuff from NXT UK that kind of pushed him off. Maybe he'll get on next week, or maybe they'll just wait till Worlds Collide and we'll get Quincy Elliott to debut on national TV in 2 weeks. But when he does, that crowd's going to go wild, and the people that see him for the first time are definitely going to be like, who's this guy? And he looks cool and blah, blah, blah. So I think we'll have another big babyface star on our hands. And Quincy Elliott's been doing some good work. We've been watching him on Level Up for months, basically all 2022 now. We've been watching the progression of Quincy Elliott on Level Up, and that's why we like to cover this show. We love to see that kind of stuff. So I'm going to get going. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be doing coverage of NWA all weekend long. They've got 2 big pay-per-view events this weekend, as well as I've got to cover their go home show as well. So I'll be here all weekend with live coverage of NWA. So tune in for that. And then if you're not interested in that, I'll be back Monday with Raw. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.